It's been 29 years since Hero Himmel's passing, and we see Frieren and her party on Roar Road within the northern countries. They stop by a farm momentarily for Sane to ask something of the farmer. Frieren asks him, "Why are you asking around?" To which Sane replies, "To find someone." "Do you remember the purpose of my journey?" Stark mentioned that isn't his purpose to travel together with a sexy older lady? Sane responded that while that is certainly important too, the true purpose of his journey is to reunite with his best friend who went off traveling a decade ago. Frieren remembered that Sane did mention something about that before, while Stark is admiring Sane's photo with his friend, stating that it's rare. Sane responded that he had a mage take the photo for them when one visited their village a long time ago. Frieren asked if Sane has managed to get a hold of his friend's trail, to which he replied that since the path they are traveling on is a major road in the northern countries, he has met many eyewitnesses already, and they are fine continuing north like this. Stark wondered why there are still a lot of eyewitnesses, even though it's been a decade already, to which Sane replied that the reason is that his friend's name is distinct and leaves an impact. Stark asked what his friend's name is, and Sane replied that it's Warrior Gorilla. Stark was a bit baffled and found it hard to react until he asked Sane what his friend's real name is. Sane thought hard about his best friend's name but couldn't seem to remember it. Stark wonders if Warrior Gorilla was really his best friend. Sane said that ever since back then, everyone in the village called him Warrior Gorilla too, but that is what he wanted to be called in the first place. Sane then said, "By the way, I'm Priest Goatee," and Stark replied that Sane has never mentioned that before. Frieren wondered if Sane was already called like that even before he had a goatee, and Fern is puzzled why Frieren chooses to continue that topic. Sane emphasized that all they needed to know is that his friend's name is Warrior Gorilla since he'll definitely go by that name after all. The party arrived at a bridge where they stopped momentarily. Frieren said that if they walked for another week after crossing it, then they would finally reach the magical town of Oberst. Fern mentioned that it has truly been a long journey to get there, to which Frieren defensively said, "Why are you looking at me? I have not done anything bad this time." Sane then suggested if they could stop by a town, and added that the road here forks off into several paths after all. Frieren agreed since they could use a time to rest. Sane asked a villager if a gorilla man has come to their village a decade ago. Stark couldn't help but think that it's an insane question. To his surprise, the man actually remembered a man named Warrior Gorilla and mentioned that he left an incredible impact on the village since he exterminated the monsters that appeared around the town. Sane asked if the villager knows where he went afterward. The villager replied that Warrior Gorilla was close with the stubborn granny who lives up top, so he suggested for them to ask her. When they met the granny, she immediately said that she is a stubborn person, so she will not tell them easily the information that they seek. Sane asked what they need to do, to which the granny responded that they need to fulfill a few of her requests. She asked the party to deliver a letter to a blacksmith in a neighboring town. While they are doing the errand, Frieren said that it reminded her about the journey she had with Himmel, where helping others as errand runners was an everyday occurrence. She also added that these sorts of simple situations would evolve into annoying item searches or exterminations of troublesome monsters that made Stark worried. Frieren then said that they should try their best to open up the stubborn granny's heart. We then have a montage of the errands that they've done to achieve that goal, and true to Frieren's word, we did see them undertaking item searches and monster exterminations. After some time, Sane is realizing that this granny isn't really opening her heart at all. Frieren apologized and said that if it were Himmel or Hyder doing it, the granny would have opened up in just half a day. Fern explains that that is because their current party consists of awkward people. A few moments later, the granny handed out a bucket and gave them a task to polish the hero statues at the gorge. She added that it will also be the last errand. The granny got up and tells them that she will lead the way. Frieren is curious about the hero statues the granny mentioned, to which the granny replied that all she knows is that those are stone statues of the great heroes who saved the world a long, long time ago. They are long-forgotten heroes whose names are a mystery, and they have been maintained by their town for generations. Sane wonders about the forgotten heroes. The granny suddenly then said, "By the way, your priest goatee." Sane got surprised at how the granny even knew about that. They arrived at their destination where they see an old sculpture of a priest and a warrior. Frieren noticed that they somehow resemble Sane and Gorilla based on the photo earlier. Frieren also added that she feels like she has seen the warrior before, until a few moments later, she concluded that it is Kraft, the elf they met in a cabin back then. After examining the statues a bit, Frieren told the party to get ready to clean, but Sane is still staring at the statue intently and said, "I see. So this man's name was Kraft." He then pointed and asked who the other guy is, but Frieren has no idea. Sane reminisced about the time when he and Warrior Gorilla were just kids, along with an elderly hider. We see that they have also seen a statue like that close to their village back then. Hider is asking them who are those statues, and Gorilla mentions that the statues looked like him and Sane. Gorilla explained that according to the mayor, they used to be heroes a very long time ago, but nobody even remembers their names anymore. Gorilla emphasized that they will not end up like the persons in the statues. He refuses to be forgotten. He emphasized that he is going to become an unforgettable hero like Hero Himmel. Hider looked at him with a gentle smile and said, "Any hero will eventually be completely forgotten. I am sure that the Hero Himmel who defeated the Demon King is no exception." Sane agreed and said that what Gorilla said sounded unrealistic after all. Warrior Gorilla wonders that if he trains well, maybe he will become like the person in the statue as well. And that is also when he decided to call himself Warrior Gorilla. He explains that if you're looking to become an unforgettable hero, it's important to have an impactful name. Hider laughed about his idea, yet he agrees as well. He then asked Sane, "In that case, you will be Priest Goatee then?" Gorilla was amused and liked that name, and is also sure that Sane will match the sculpture's goatee when he grows up. We then go back to the present time where we see the party finished cleaning the statues. The party sighed in relief as they said that it's finally over. The granny explains that she had also asked Gorilla to do the same thing back then but was unable to do it as well as they have. To which Sane responded that all Gorilla is good for is fighting. Granny agrees but said, but his name was clearly impactful. She told Sane that Gorilla often spoke about him, and that he said that the two of them would become heroes who would engrave their names in history forever. Her story made Sane think deeply. After a little while, the party said goodbye to the granny as they went ahead to continue their adventure. Frieren asked Sane if he has found out where Gorilla went. He answered that the granny said that Gorilla went to Tur, a commercial town in the middle of the northern countries. Frieren noted that that place is far to the east from their location, the opposite direction for Oberst. Sane realizes the dilemma and wonders what he should do. And that's the end of our video. It's nice to learn more about Kraft and who he was back in the day. I'm sure that, like me, you guys must be dying to know just how epic he was back in his heyday. He may be a great hero in the mythical age, a time where the goddess still appeared in the world. Anyway, I'm excited to see how his character will unfold, as well as the other person next to him in the statue and their connection to Sane and Warrior Gorilla. See you guys in the next video.